Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Now I've got something a little bit different for you today. I was going through my ginger, my raw ginger, because I love doing their green juices. They're really good for you. I love to put a big chunk of ginger in it. And I cut the piece into two halves. And I went to use the other half today. And I noticed that it's actually got growths on it. And you know me, I love growing things. So I thought I've got to give this a try, guys. As you know, with ginger, raw ginger, it has like what they call the little eyes on the end of them. And normally when I'm juicing ginger, I'll just cut them off. But because they've actually sort of grown, that's going green there. And these two here, they almost look like little tiny onions growing. The growths, they're fantastic. And of course, all the ginger, the raw ginger's got like a green colour. And this one here, the ginger growth, has actually got little roots coming on it. It's absolutely cute as anything. So obviously, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be growing this, and it's going to be turning into a little ginger plant, which I can't resist doing. Now, from what I've heard here with ginger, when it comes to propagating ginger, you need to leave, obviously, a part that's got the eyes on, which is like one of these, the growth, the green growths, and these two here, which are really actively growing already. You need to leave at least 2 inches of the ginger, the raw ginger, on the growths. And then you leave it for a few days to callus over. And then you pot them up into some well-drained soil mix. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be cutting it up. That's already dried up anyway from previously. And I'm going to be cutting it here, leaving at least 2 inches on here. So I'm going to be cutting it across down on here. So obviously using a clean knife, a clean sterilised knife, because you don't want to be spreading any infection. And that's cut that off like so. And here, so you're leaving it cut. And then that's already dried up. I'm going to be leaving this part here to dry up for a few days. Once that's formed like a thick white skin, like this, a bit like when you're doing cactus or succulent cuttings, although there's not a cactus or any or succulent, but it's similar in that you let it to callus over, form a white skin. And then when that's like that, then I'm going to be putting it into a pot, putting it with a well-drained soil mix. I'll probably use a succulent soil for potting it up in. And then this should grow. As you can see, there's the green growth coming out there. And it's going to turn into a lovely plant. So I'm going to let this callus for a few days, and then I'm going to get potting it up. Now, I've left it for a good few days, so it's formed a thick callus underneath, as you can see there. And now it's ready for planting. Now, what the best thing to do is, now remember, I'm not an expert on ginger. This isn't a how-to video because this is my first time doing this. So this is only what I'm going to be doing, guys. And I'm using a pot, and I'm using a lot bigger than what I'd normally pot up, even though it's only a small piece of ginger. Because from what I've heard anyway with ginger, obviously the rhizome, which is this, does develop more over time. So if you pot it into only a small pot, just enough to hold it up, but normally when you're doing cuttings, then obviously it's going to grow quite quick and the rhizome is going to grow large. And you're going to have to keep potting on. So I'm using quite a deep pot in this case. And then once it's took root and it starts to get big, I'm going to pot it on again in the coming weeks and months. And what I've done, I've used a well-drained potting soil, which is a mix of Johnnins number 2, which is like a sandy-based soil using loam rather than peat. And I've mixed it with a bit of extra perlite as well for some extra drainage. And what I'm going to be doing then is, what you need to do is to actually plant the ginger where the little green eyes, if you can call them eyes, are actually coming out to the top of the soil rather than burying them into the soil. You can cover it very lightly with soil, but because these have actually sprouted, as you can see there, I'm actually going to leave them above the soil. And then what you do, just pull it back like so there, plant it in, and then cover it like so. They're leaving the eyes, obviously, to look out. And that's it. And then what you need to do is keep it lightly damp at all times. You're not to let the soil go soggy because it can rot, and that's the last thing you want to do. Just to keep it damp. I just put that a little bit more deeper in there because you want to make sure that it is all covered. And I'm going to be doing an update of this in the coming weeks, so stay tuned, guys. I'm going to give a bit of a watering now. Again, lightly damp soil, and they're like a minimum of 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, so they don't like frost. So obviously I'll be growing this indoors here, because normally I wouldn't recommend propagating anything at this time of year. I'd always do it in the spring, and that's the same from what I've heard with ginger as well. And I'm only doing this because it's actually sprouting now for me, so I thought I'd get it potted up. But I'm going to be keeping it indoors, minimum of 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to be keeping it in the office, so it'll be a lot warmer than that anyway. And it's going to be in a sheltered spot away from direct sunlight, because ginger doesn't like to be grown in full sunshine. And it's going to be in a nice sort of warm spot for it as well. And I'll let you know how it gets on in the coming weeks, guys. And also, don't forget to always label your plants, in this case ginger, Zingiber officinale. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of happy growing, as always, from Ireland. Until the next video, guys. Bye.